Hello, everyone. Lovely to be with you. So we'll spend some time together in resting. And hopefully this resting reveals itself to you and to be your home, your reality. This effortless restfulness. So for now, we can invite ourselves to simply be. So it's a sort of sinking into presence, into being. All the doors and the windows are open. And you're not doing anything. You're not trying to feel better, or you're not trying to get into a better state. You're not trying to understand anything. You're not trying to figure anything out. You don't know what you are in this moment. Which is a sort of freedom. Like a newborn child. Whatever sensations are appearing to you, you remain unknowing. It doesn't matter what's on deck. Because you're okay as you are. As presence, as awareness. It doesn't matter the words as peace, as tranquility. As the ground of being. Sometimes we say the background of appearance. But in fact, there is no distance between the background and the foreground. The screen of perception is always on. In fact, our entire experience, our entire reality, our being is just a screen of perception. Sometimes there are appearances. These appearances appear intimately. They appear within the screen. It's the screen itself taken on the form of an appearance, like hearing these words right now. And sometimes in the absence of appearances, the screen is always on. Because awareness, by its very nature, is aware. It does not require anything in order to be aware. By its very essence, by its very nature, it is aware. And this awareness is not a concept, it's not an object, because all concepts are a form of objects. Whenever there is an object, there is an implied, a separate subject. Within an object, there is the implication of duality. But in fact, we never experience objects. We experience a concept of a tree or the concept of a mountain. Or we experience a perception, which we refer to conceptually as a tree or as a mountain. but we never experience an object. Because an object implies a separation, implies a separate reality, which we call an object, object A, object B. So what we refer to as objects, in fact, are just concepts. A way of, at the mind level, organizing our experience. This is an oak tree, not a palm tree or an olive tree. Which is a tremendous potential and capacity of the human mind to conceptualize, reference, categorize. There is an innocence in conceptualizing, as long as you don't mistake the concept to refer to a separate reality, an objective reality. But then you conceptualize yourself as somebody. And to a certain extent, it's okay. I conceptualize myself as a father, a son, a daughter, a teacher, a bus driver, IT professional. So there is an innocence to conceptualizing yourself in a practical sense and for practical reasons, for communicative purposes. For organizational reasons, at the level of the mind and the level of the world and human interaction. But when you believe yourself to be a separate vortex of reality, some sort of real entity is separate from other entities, you have fallen into your own conceptual mirage. Believe yourself to, and feel yourself to be a person. You confuse yourself with the personality of the body and mind. You identify yourself with an object on the screen of perception, or a bundle of thoughts and emotions and feelings and memories on the screen of perception. But the screen of perception is your reality. is your true nature, your true self. A borderless, edgeless screen. And this screen is one screen, one reality. We say it is nominal rather than phenomenal because phenomenal refers to various perceptions and sensations, mentations. Which have a beginning and an end. We have different shades, different forms, different vibrations. While the screen of perception is not phenomenal, is not made out of shapes and shades and vibrational fields. It's completely transparent. Once you understand, you integrate this transparency, then what is revealed to you is that there is only this transparency. That in fact, what the mind perceives, or what is at the level of the mind, is a form of say, a reflection of the field of perception within itself, a hint, a rendition a phenomenal rendition about the minimal. It's as if everything that you perceive is a sort of puzzle for you to figure out. What you need to figure out is the reality of that which you perceive. So in the dream of being a human, the dream of human perceptions, there is God's whisper. And the whisper is, have you figured it out? So in a way, it's a play. Imagining yourself to be this or that, and then realizing that it was all your imagination, that you've always been that which you are. You've never been anything else. Whatever that is, doesn't matter. The mind cannot conceptualize or verbalize its source. But once the source is revealed to the mind, then the mind can speak figuratively in ways that are metaphoric to refer to the understanding. Well, maybe we can have a conversation. I have long enough conversation with myself, so let's have a conversation together. Anything that you'd like to explore or to share? What are you wondering about? Any questions?
Yeah, Magdi. Hi.
Hello, Chris.
Chris. Yeah, I don't have a question, but this is just bubbling up and I just want to share some reflection. As you were speaking, I got really interested in how words I was hearing was forming into any kind of meaning. It was really interesting to like open up to like a real mystery inside as to how in the world the words I was hearing were actually forming into some kind of understanding. It was really fun, and it was kind of an aha moment of like, oh, I've taken this for granted. And it was hitting me like little children when they're first learning what things are, and we tell them over and over again so that they get this nailed down in their minds, what a thing is. I don't know what I'm trying to say or share about it, but it just was really like beautiful to see the unknowing of how that actually works.
Mm-hmm.
It just felt very transparent and strange. And I guess what I'm taking away a little bit was a lighter holding of words, not taking that quite so concrete.
Mm-hmm.
And then the last thing I want to say is I was thinking of, maybe you said something about the reflection, or I was just reflecting on this idea of when the mind is quiet, it can reflect truth or being more clearly. And so somehow that felt connected to words, like I guess my judgment was that when you're calm, this wisdom is reflected through your words, and even though they're just words. I don't know. I would just love to hear what you have to say around that. It was a fun little reflection happening for me while you were speaking.
No. In terms of the peace and the stillness and that which is seemingly is communicated in words. In fact, the words arise from the source. They can arise from, they can be sort of mind stuff, thoughts being verbalized. But also words can be the silence being verbalized. Because when you're speaking about truth, you can be speaking about truth conceptually, or truth can be speaking about truth. When truth is speaking about truth, it draws you into the words. It draws you to its source.
Mm.
But when words are arising from the process of thinking, then it draws you to thinking. Except if you're rooted in the peace, in the silence, in the understanding, then the words that arise from the mind, they don't draw you. You don't get caught in the octopuses.
So you just described satsang for me, my experience of it. Like in some way settling into this peace,
Yes.
so that I have a foundation to listen.
Yes, and when you settle in the peace, in fact, the job is done. It doesn't matter what you listen, because it's about the peace. So once you settle in the peace, and you sort of relax in that, then everything is music. Everything is sweet. Sound bites, and meaning is fascinating, because meaning refers to understanding. It's understanding. Understanding is different from learning something. You can learn via repetitive process, a variety of concepts and activities and the repetition. But understanding, or when there is meaning, there is something conveyed that is via a certain medium, but that which is conveyed is via a certain phenomenal medium, but that which is conveyed is non-phenomenal. So when there is meaning, when there is understanding, it's non-phenomenal. You pierce through the layers of the mind into understanding, into the meaning. So because there is one reality, and when you pierce through the mind, you're piercing through into reality. You're not piercing from mind A to mind B, or to a bigger mind, or a more colorful mind. No, piercing through the mind, you're piercing into reality. As a way of speaking, I'm saying piercing as a metaphor. So you're piercing into reality. Because there is one reality. Whenever there is understanding, you're piercing into the same reality. So all understandings, all meanings refer to one reality. So there is one meaning. One understanding. And whichever way we have an insight, whatever the mode, whatever the dynamics that leads to the understanding, which may differ, the dynamics may differ. The understanding is always about the same reality, that reality is real. There is something rather than nothing. That's an understanding. That reality is one, not two. That reality is non-phenomenal. It's not made out of objects, bits and pieces like a puzzle. That reality is freedom, is borderless. That reality is, there's no sense of lack in reality. There's no seeking. That reality is I. I is reality. That reality is aware and is creative. So there are many insights, many seemingly different ways, but they're about different paths seemingly, but they're about the same. We have the same understanding, the same reality. And the experience of this understanding is peace, the peace of being, the causeless peace of being, freedom, which is the sense of love, absence of the sense of love, the absence of fears and worries and concerns. That's the reality. Because reality is one, and it has no opposition. Therefore, what would it feel? What would it feel? But then at the mind level, there is a fear, a worry, and a concern. But there's only fear and worry and concern when there is a belief that I am separate entity, that there is a separate reality. Not that there is a separate mind. Yes, of course, but that there is a separate reality, that there is a reality called the mind. And this reality has to be me, not some reality out there, it's me. So all the worries and concerns feel about extinction and ending, endless desires, are connected with that belief that I exist in history, that I exist in time, that I exist in a medium, in some sort of medium. And that this medium out there is some obscure thing, whatever it is, and I'm this traveling spaceship. Hopefully it's well built, and hopefully all the nuts and bolts are tight, and the computer program is good, and I'm traveling somewhere, and I just got to get there, hopefully in one piece and with all my loved ones. It's so mad. It is so mad. Where am I traveling? What? The understanding. Oh no, there is a medium out there surrounding me, and I exist in time and space. No, time and space exist in me. Consciousness, awareness is my very self. This awareness, and this awareness, I'm here right now. It is not bottled in a bottle or contained in a container. It's hysteric to say, to conceive of that. I know it's like a very, very common belief. 8 billion of us believe in that, but it doesn't matter. It defies experience. It defies our higher reason that there is a container that's containing consciousness, that contains me. That's I'm inside a container, inside it. I'm the body inside of a layer of skin, right? And that I've got a personal purpose. But even my personal purpose, it's just inherited from the hysteria of my parents. And it teaches them the culture to become somebody and accumulate stuff and get ahead of the pack. And you look around me and say, damn, I mean, it's like misery galore. I mean, wait a minute. Just makes no sense. But yet there is this inner light within us, this inner sense of excitement and joy. We love a good joke, we love to hear it, to be with nice friends and chit chat together, and we love to be spontaneous. We love to see things, explore things, play with things. And there is that inner child in us that's alive, it's bubbling. And then it's all covered with this layer of, oh my God, it's Monday again. I'm reading the same thing. Oh, it's happening to me. It's like that inner joy is like trying to compress it. Like the culture is trying to compress it with beliefs What's going to happen to you tomorrow? Oh my God, what's going to happen to you tomorrow? That's it. I'm going to jump on that bandwagon and I'm going to, toss and turn in my bed. But all of that is fiction. Because reality is, and I is, it's not like some additional side effect or sideshow. It is reality, and there is this sideshow called I. No, I is. I am. We don't need to get into this. I am this and that, and oh, I am this and not that. No, that's just why make this choice? Oh, on what intelligence is telling you to opt for I am this and not that? I is everything that appears. Could it be that it's something else up there somewhere? No. No. It's all I. There isn't like something that appears as something else. That this mountain is not I, it's something else. It's out there somewhere. It belongs to another reality, the reality of mountains. It's I. It's all I. You are I, she is I, he is I, it's all I. The mountains are I, the rivers. It's all I. I it has no borders. It's not like I is this box, 2 miles, like 2 miles, cube, 2 mile cube. No. Where did these borders come from? Believing, oh, the skin or the mind, because your thoughts and my thoughts are separate thoughts. Therefore, the conclusion is, I am this bundle of thoughts and you are that bundle of thoughts. No, I am the reality that perceives the thought. Heck, I don't need to see your thought. What for? Yeah, in fact, it could be that I'm seeing your thought right now and dissociating myself from seeing the thought. I don't need to right now know and remember and know your thought in this very second. What's the significance of that? What will be the significance of that? The significance of that. I won't even be talking to you because I know exactly what you're thinking. You know exactly what I'm thinking. So there'll be no questions, no answer, no conversation, because we'll just be sitting there. I know your thoughts, my thoughts every second, every. It's ridiculous. That's not how it is. That's not how. It's not fun.
And also, Magdi, when you said there's only one meaning, I may not know the words in your mind, but I do know the meaning of them.
Yes.
If that's true, it feels true. So
yes. When we get the meaning, it's not possible to be separate. There's an understanding, when you know the meaning, when you understand it. There is no separate understanding, there is just understanding. And understanding is sort of a dissolution of the mind. And then the mind arises again, blessed or transformed, touched by the understanding. And the fact that we understand, that you say something and I understand, that's so big. It is so big. Because in understanding, we're like really confirming that we're one.
So that's why we all love a joke, right? We all,
Yes, I know. We love the joke because
we all got it.
Yes, because we get it that we're one in the. I have a friend who loves to tell jokes, and you know, some people have this mind where one joke after the other. I don't know if you've met people like that. They're like full of jokes. we just laugh so much.
It makes them even richer to recognize it that way. Thank you, Magdi.
Hello, Jaroslav. Did you have your hand up?
Yeah. Hello, can you hear me? Magdi?
Yes, I hear you.
Yeah.
How do I say your name? Jaros?
Jarek, just Jarek.
Jarek, yes, Jarek.
Very, very nice.
Yes.
Magdi, nice to meet you again.
Yes.
I've been on your meeting a couple time. I practice my English, so
that's okay.
I'll be looking for some words to. Okay, yeah. So, do you remember me?
Yes, I do remember you.
Okay.
And I remember also having a hard time with your name, but I get it now. Jarek.
Jarek. Jarek in English. In Poland, we call just Jarek.
Jarek.
Hmm? Jarek.
Okay.
Jarek. Hmm? Okay. Okay. Enough the name of this body mind.
Yes, of course.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I have a couple of questions to you, and I'm curious, what's your take on this question? Do you want to listen?
Yes.
Okay, thanks. So maybe I because you know when you were talking, I finish.
Jarek, sorry to interrupt you. Is it possible to raise your volume? Is it possible?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, just a little bit. Okay, so I can hear you better.
Okay, maybe I will try. In Poland, here in Poland,
yes,
we have now it will be 10 to 12. So
okay.
Yes, and I have some siblings.
Oh, no problem. I hear you.
On my wall behind, and you know,
yes.
So I would like to be not so quiet, but I would like to be listen well as well.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. And so, but yeah. So I wanted to like describe what I do before when you were talking, because I have some like feeling that I would like you to honor you, but I wanted to be like how to say in English, correct with my stuff. And when we were talking, I was listening to you and like unpacking myself from other activities, and then I like sat down to take my card with questions, because I would love to ask this question for Roger. Roger has like meeting in Saturday at 3 p.m. and the Holger, you know Holger very well. He also attend on this meetings like week by week with Roger as well. Yeah. But so there will be no for Roger, there will be for you, because I know you are in this area deep. So so it'll be for you, Magdi. Do you understand what I am saying in English?
Yes.
Or you have some trouble and I need to repeat or something?
No, I understand.
Okay. Okay. No, I'm good. Yeah. So okay. The first question is, Magdi, is it possible that the fundamental awareness dead, like be dead, like
To die.
like,
Okay.
die, like be in state of dying, because we also like recognize the awareness, the beingness, and I'm curious, is it possible that this eye of seeing, it can be like dead, like non-existent, or
Yes.
or is it just is? Because the body mind, of course, it can like can change, they can like you can do like you nature do whatever can happen to the body, even the body mind dead. So I'm curious, is the same for the awareness? Is it possible in your seeing? This is my first question.
Well, okay. So yeah, right. First, let me define how I use the word awareness.
Okay.
I use the word awareness or consciousness synonymously to refer to the reality that perceives right now, whatever this reality is. That's how I define awareness, the reality that perceives. Sometimes I say it's the reality that is and that perceives. Now, so the short answer to your question is no. Reality awareness does not die, is not born, and does not die. If you look in your experience right now, okay, there is awareness, right?
Yes.
And can you tell me if this awareness is blue, red, or yellow?
No, the awareness has no qualities.
No qualities. There's no qualities. It is not
Like
tall.
the qualities, like appearance, it's like like all manifestation like happened because of awareness. Like it's made of awareness, but the
Yes.
awareness quality is like yes. Pure potential, like pure potential. This is like
Right.
like the ball of whatever can happen.
I understand. So now, so in your experience right now, there is awareness. Do you have any experience of awareness beginning or ending?
No.
But you do have an experience, for example, of a thought beginning and ending.
Of course.
Yes. So if thought begins and ends, that you know that via your direct experience. So we could say that a thought is born and dies, as a way of speaking, okay?
Yeah.
But awareness in your direct experience.
Okay, so sorry, Magdi, sorry, but that I interrupt you. Please forgive me. I wanted to like put maybe more words, and I think you will understand more. Like I put more clarification describing what I'm asking for,
Yes.
and you will be like better. Can be like the how to say back information, like so yeah. So because I will like helping with my card. Okay, so because the correlation of sorry, I need to like because I didn't read again, and my writing is not so like in pure.
It's okay.
Pristine. I need to like sorry. So and correlation for being truthful, the sense of me and body. Okay, okay. In this, so maybe can we, Magdi, can we do like this way, that I like speak all of I want, and I think this is all connected. So it will, then I will be like listen and respond to you. Can I do this? Like,
Yes.
In that way? Okay,
Yes.
thank you. Okay. So because the correlation of being like in this like state, like non-dual, which you like pointing to me, it's ever present. We can use all this like self-affirming words to being like grounded in that state. I understand. To be like, to not give our like, to not go to illusion, like to be in this recognition, and you help in this a lot, I know. So thank you. But we have the body mind, and the body mind, through the body mind we can see this recognition. So but in your, there will be some couple questions, but I think you got it all, and you put your answers for me. So when we seeing, and there is some like technical tools, scientific apart, how to say, the measurement, and you can like measure the brain wave and on NFC. So I'm curious that if you are like in this eye of seeing, like from the like the big me. So is this like correlation that the scientific, for example, there will be some the tool connected to my brain or your brain, and there will be like change on that way. So what the scientific tool like in this moment we'll see. And because there will be, I'm sorry, there will be, I'm sure there will be some people who will be claiming that all what we like seeing, feel is just our like state of mind, that this is our illusion, that we like feel nobody, like connected and all happening as one. And for other like people, they will be like saying, oh, it's just the state of mind, and maybe this is like some materialism or yeah, but there will be some people who will be saying so okay. And I have like one, two more, and I will give you,
Okay.
I will remember all and answer me all this. So the next one is the role of this balancing, this non-dual like being in this like calm, relaxed state, like you need to like, it's even because in this non-dual state there also is like preparation to have like in being not knowing, and like not giving the mind or other attributes like I know that this is about all the good hierarchy or who is the boss in all this, but what I want to say that yeah. So because I can meet, like I have the sense, the feeling when I in this like people in this area that they wanted all just like sit down, relax, do nothing, and they are, I think I have like feeling that there will be some ego who is like, we wanted like the narration of this very like pristine state, but but we have also practical life, so I think we also need like do our stuff, like do like when you have work or something to do, or take care about children, whatever, about your wife, or your friends. So there also be like, what's your view, Magdi, on this balancing, and because why we have science? Science, like the science, loves use precise language to describe what is happening now, and it is like a very good thing, and sometimes I don't understand this non-dual people who wanted to be not knowing, and like this is like more, for me sometimes I feel it's like losing the intelligence in that way, but yeah, so this is, and the two and for the end, and so yeah, and because in this God, let's say in this God awareness, which is just is, and it's untouched, and because of karma of the thing the logical. So the God is untouched, and it can be everything, but so, and for example, in Christianity, in a religion, there is calling that God is almighty and all-knowing, and so there is some paradoxes then, because if it's all-knowing, so there is no area for free will, because it's not logical, but we have feeling of free will, and this is the gift. But the God is all-knowing, and he knows how it ends, or this is pure potential, and God don't know how it ends. It's like probability, because now in science there was Nobel Prize in Physics 2022 on Bell and inequation, and this is the things, very very interesting stuff, and beauty, and very beautiful in mathematics as well, and it's in this quantum world there is this probability that the electron, the describing of that level is probabilistic, but in classical way, in Newtonian way, we have all this causal way, and so I'm curious about God. The God is still in progress. Yeah, and the last one, the connected with this dead. So the God, if the God needs the body mind, because maybe God don't need my body to because from my side, the God, for example, I think it's the way that he's my body mind is another perspective for God, and God have all perspectives, let's say, but God don't need my vehicle to be. So when the body mind died, I died. The ego, which is created so the perspectives die, but God doesn't die, and the God it will be self-born in other manifestation. So because this body mind will be sad, because this body mind lose there will be I'm curious, there will be oblivion in that way, in this or there is in Christian promise, when you believe in Jesus, there will be the heaven way. So I'm curious what your take on Jesus Christ, and do you believe in Jesus Christ, and or for you it's just another or just another like very like wise person, like many on others. Yeah, so this is my question for you,
Okay.
and now I'm listening.
Okay. Yarek, you know, you are talking to a 71-year-old mind, and the capacity to remember and to track everything that you said and to follow all what you said is, I don't have that capacity. So rather than having you go all over again to remind me of what were the 4 or 5 questions, let me just sort of speak, and then we can have a dialogue together about this. And I don't know where to start, honestly. So now you mentioned God. Okay, when we say God, you know, when I'm speaking, I use the term God. I'm referring to reality. I'm not referring to some God who is planning things, doing things, or some super consciousness that is planning and doing things and creating things and going here and going there. No, I'm speaking about reality. Now, this reality, you could say, has two positions. One position is the stillness. It is, reality is. There is nothing happening. It's not doing anything. There is nothing but this reality. Period. And this reality is what we refer to experientially as peace, freedom, happiness, joy, love, beauty. Anyways, irrespective of that, this reality is not doing anything. It is. It just is. Everything is this reality. That's one aspect of the reality. The other aspect of reality is this conversation. That reality also takes on the form of mind, takes on the form of a particle, takes on the form of a wave, takes on the form of causality, meaning the concept of causality. A is causing B. B is happening because A. There's a force that pushed, that the size of the force, this is the distance of the trajectory. This is a concept. So this reality takes on the form of this concept, but it also takes on the form of the concept of a wave. It takes on the form of the concept of time, and then it takes on the form of the concept of time space as being one model, not two, not separate. But the thing is, in our experience, we refer to ourselves as a particular mind. Now that's also consciousness itself that is playing this game of identifying itself as an individual mind that is moving in time, that is going from space to space, that is going from state to state, that is experiencing the 3 states over and over, and that is experiencing thoughts, sensations, and perceptions as being their identity. Now, all these thoughts, perceptions, and sensations, which we know as to be our experience, they are appearances that appear within the screen of perception. They don't refer to a separate event, to an actual happening. Because if something is actually happening, then it would have a reality. It would be real. And if what is happening is real, then it would not cease to be. It would not cease to be. It would be suspended forever in eternity. But the fact is there is no event that is suspended absolutely in reality. Yes, Eric.
Yeah. So Magdi, like you are living like in the flame of now. So you like forget what happened like 5 seconds ago, because for you it's all changing now, all the time, like the timeless now. And so for you, like sorry, please let me finish.
Oh, yeah.
So you for you for me is the gift of God, that we have memory and we can like remember stuff and don't do the same mistakes, or it's very useful in practical way to have memory.
Yes.
Memory. And with memory is connected with time, and memory have also like the space when we like remembering stuff.
Yes.
So for you, please let me finish.
Oh,
so for you, Magdi, this like this seeing like requires the memory, or it can be like, I'm smiling because I'm in God and I don't need memory. Like,
well, I mean, there is memory. Like in this moment, there is no need for any memory. I mean, there is the brain has learned the English language. You know, it's already been programmed, and it can speak these words in English and can understand these words. It uses the right words because it's an instrument that's been trained to like a computer that can compute in English. So yes, there is that. There is the machine that's already conditioned, that has learned how to, that's been programmed. But you, in this moment, you are not the machine. You use the machine, let's say, to, for example, speak these words. But you are not the machine. It's not the machine that is the awareness. The machine is an instrument. You could say, well, what is animating the instrument? What is animating the brain? What is animating the computer, the human machine? Well, now, how would you answer this question? You would have to go to some evidence. You have to have some evidence. Well, here I just opened the door and I see that there is somebody out there with a big crank, and he's turning the crank. And when he turns the crank, the machine moves and speaks. And when he stops turning the crank, the machine stops. So, but when I open the door, I don't see somebody, cranking the machine. So where do I look for what is animating this machine? Where do I look? Where? There is nowhere to look. So then I tell myself, well, okay, if the machine is being operated, then there has to be, if the machine is operating, must be real, and the machine being operated must also be real, right? Because if it's not real, then our conversation is ended. We're just talking about Santa Claus. We're talking because we like to make sounds. But the conversation. But let me finish this. Let me finish.
Sorry, please forgive me. But I want to give good point. Because there is some part of absurd in this non-dual seeing, because it's both way paradox that it's like happening and it's real and in the same time unreal, meaning have no his own like
no, I don't
like no material.
Sorry, Eric, let me interrupt you. No, I don't see it this way. Yeah, I'm only interested in reality. Okay, I'm only interested in reality. So if this conversation is real, I'm interested. I'm interested. But if this conversation is not real, then there is no need to, I'm not interested. Goodbye. So I'm interested in the reality, because why would I be interested in illusion? Right? Okay, so I'm interested in reality. So I ask myself, there is this conversation with Eric. Okay, what is the reality of this? Pardon. What is the reality of this conversation with Eric? That is my question. That is what I'm interested in. I'm interested in what is the reality of this conversation with Eric. So when I ask myself this question, I ask myself, what is real in my experience? What can I say in my experience is real? These glasses are not real. Why? Because in 1,000 years, there will be dust. Reality cannot change, cannot become unreal. So I ask myself, what is it in my experience right now that is real? And I only find one thing, Yarek, only one thing: awareness, consciousness, which is not an object. It's not a table, it's not a chair, it's not a woman or a man. It is whatever it is that perceives right now. There is awareness. Now, that's where, for me, it becomes very, very fascinating, because I am interested in reality. When I look at the reality of this conversation, I go to consciousness awareness. Now, if we have doubts about the reality of consciousness, then we need to look, investigate.
Why we have doubt?
I say if
why, but why it's happening that people or the manifestation, the living like the diversity of life and in many forms has this, can happen that has this like doubt about
about consciousness.
I'm about conscious. I'm looking like the words. Yeah.
Well, you know, the doubt about consciousness is when there is a belief in a physical reality, that reality is the mountain, reality is matter, reality is when there is a belief in, for example, material reality, or in a mind reality, that reality is created by the brain and brain waves, or there is a mind that is creating the world. When there are these beliefs, excuse me, this belief acts like a veil. How do you say veil? And so you question about why is there a doubt about the reality of consciousness, is because there is the belief that reality is material or reality is mind. But in my experience, reality is neither material nor mind, it is consciousness. So mind is thoughts and perceptions and sensations, and the material is the world, mountains, galaxies, universes. They're appearances. The reality is not phenomenal, non-phenomenal. So coming back to our conversation, when we contemplate the events that are happening, thoughts, the perceptions, the sensations, evolution, and all of that, we are looking at a movement. We're looking at at phenomena. We're looking at the sunrise. We're looking at the sunrise and sunset. We're looking at galaxies and the expansion of galaxies into space. We're looking at phenomena. And in order to come to the understanding about reality, you have to look not at phenomena, but what is the reality of phenomena. And when you look at the reality of phenomena, you will come to the reality of consciousness. And once you come to the reality of consciousness, then everything is this reality. There is nothing that is excluded from reality. So the movement of mind, the movement of the galaxies, the movement of the oceans, all of that, the changes in the body from a 10-year-old to 20-year-old, a 30-year-old body, all of it is just this one reality. And one could say that, as a way of speaking, reality at peace is in stillness, in non-movement is peace, and reality in movement is infinite potential, infinite creativity, infinite potential. Nothing is excluded. And including the mind with the activities of the mind, the mind's attempts to organize experience, yes, to understand experience.
Yes, but do you please tell me on this? I'm very curious. That for you, what we see is depend on our hearts. If we doing good, we have the gift to seeing, let's say, in the God eyes. But when we going to Maya and to illusion and doing wrong stuff, we depending in this separation and this Maya, and we can say that we are a little ego and the evil, the perception, because you say all can happen. So you can you need to let me think that even evil can happen. So because you say all, but we don't, we as people, we like this creature, or we want to good things and good and have beauty, the big three. So the goodness and the beauty and the truth, and in this body there is some wanting to going the calling to this going in this voice, let's say. So I'm curious, the God gives the gift for the chosen one, for this good people, and the bad need to wait, or I'm curious.
Well, if you look at your night dream, in your night dream, you're dreaming there are some good people and bad people.
Sorry, so I'll be very personal, because this is the best way, not like philosophical, because in my past I have during which were alcoholic, and there was some violence in my home during my childhood, and I can say that this body it has trauma when some people are aggressive or use violent words around, and it's like deep, not wanting to hear this and wanting to people behave good. It had like the how the word in English for like the culture way, like
Yes.
polite, this virtue. And but you know, when you say that can happen, like whatever can happen, so should you like when you like we have freedom to react to say stop, hey, I don't want to listen this, please use nice words. And
Yes.
but I noticed that in the past when I like let people to like I didn't give the I wanted my English I weren't assertive, so the people like the reality was different. But when I like become more assertive and being like better take care of this body mind, I noticed that this change around me as well. What is your take on this?
Well, you are not the center of the world.
Yes.
As a person, you know, your mind is a little bubble, a little grain of sand among billion and billions and billions and billions of other grains of sand. So there's nothing special about your mind, about your...
Sorry, Magdi. I know that there is nothing special about mind, but you in this moment you need to say that the same like the all what saying is true for you as well. You're also like little dust.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. There's nothing special about this particular, my mind.
We're going like back to my question. Is God need us, Magdi and Jarek, to like?
No. God doesn't need any. God doesn't need anything. But and yet this is, you know, this is what's happening. So obviously, whoever is playing this game is playing this game. This game is going on. It is going on. You cannot deny it. How would we know if God needs it or not? I mean, it depends. What, you know, when we say God, when I say God, I'm referring to reality, and the reality is it's not in the need business. It doesn't need. So need applies to the human mind. It doesn't apply to reality. Now, having said that, yes, there are.
Sorry, but sorry, Magdi, but I want to be like 100% true. But because we are like referring to God, God doesn't need. But we also in the same way, like in our body minds, we are human. We have needs. Like I need like to like be quiet now because I have like siblings and there is like 12 and right. I am noisy. So there is needs. I can do like whatever I want. I have some like restriction. I need to put it.
So you could say that needs, like within the ocean, there are certain currents. Okay, and these current, you know, they need, in order for the current to exist, it needs to be at 80 degrees, and the ocean is at 60 degrees. But so the current needs to be at 60 degrees. So, but the fact that there is a current within the ocean, you could say, if you want, that God needs this current. Okay, but what would God need this current for? You need to be quiet, not to wake up, you know, your siblings. But why does the ocean need? What is the reason why it needs the current to be a better ocean, to be an ocean with currents? And then what? You see, there isn't a advantage or disadvantage when it comes to reality. When it comes to the human mind, meaning when it comes to the current, yes, the current needs to be at 80 degrees. If it's not 80 degrees, there is no current. It will just dissolve in the rest of the ocean. It'll be all 60 degrees. So what makes this body of water go from 60 to 80 degrees? It can only be the ocean, because there is only that reality. So if there is a current in the ocean with its need to be at 60 degrees, it's the ocean that is playing this game, you could say, or that is manifesting to itself this need of the current. So yes, there are, you could say, human needs, of course, but the question about does God need the humans or other, does it need galaxies? Well, there are galaxies, at least at the mind level, at the human mind level, there are galaxies. But in God's mind, are there galaxies? If in God's mind there are galaxies, then these galaxies are not separate from God's mind, because God means reality. So these galaxies are God's mind. So there are no galaxies. It's like in your body, there is blood right now, blood, but that's just a concept, because the blood in your body is the same. It's as a metaphor, you see. So are there different forms? Are there separate minds within God's mind? No, there aren't. And the metaphor for that is, again, in your night dream. In your night dream, there are a lot of activities, a lot of needs, a lot of desires, a lot of events. And they seem to be very real. And you ask yourself in the dream, how come? How come?
Sorry, but are you saying, Magdi, that the war between Russia and Ukraine is the nightmare?
Is what?
Is you and yours and mine nightmare, or is the reality? Or
no, there is only one reality. So at the human mind level.
Why? If you have connection with God, so I wanted to like ask the question. You are representing God, awareness, consciousness. So why is suffering in the world?
Why is there suffering?
Yeah.
Well, suffering is a calling, a calling from God.
Why Putin attack Ukraine? Why God can stop Putin, and why there is missile on the people, and which they are are killed because of siblings, like you if you were in, sorry that you such like the connection, but I want to be real. So or me, if I would be in Lviv, for example, or in Kiev and on this city, and the missile hit, I could die, and yeah, I will be in this state of awakening. So maybe I will be like smiling, but but this also, there are people, there are families, and they are
yes,
they're suffering about
I understand that, but you are mixing levels. You are mixing levels.
So you have this connection that there is heaven for the good one, and the for the
no,
not
happy, no.
but
I never said that. No, there is.
What you are meaning saying that I'm mixing levels? Because you say the reality is one. So why you say that I'm mixing levels? So sorry, I'm nervous now.
It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. What I mean by mixing level, because when you're asking about phenomena, the world, what's happening in the world, what's been happening in the world for about thousands of years and millions of years. you will find that there's been what's happening in the world, all sorts of awful things and non-awful things. There's been acts of kindness and there's been acts of atrocity, right? That's true. That's been going on forever. Today is not different from any other day. Now you ask why? Why is this going on? Well, one answer to this is that when I'm completely wrapped up into myself, my identity, I am isolated from you, right? I'm Lebanese, you are Polish, blah, 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 So when I'm caught up in my identity, whatever identity it is, even in the family, you look in the family, some cultures, a man is in his identity. I'm the man of the house, blah, blah, blah. There is conflict. So whenever there is a separate identity, there is a conflict. Now, that's what's happening. It's been happening in the world, for many years, many centuries. Now, there is an understanding, not just conceptual understanding, but like a shift in your understanding, in your perceptions about consciousness, about that you are not what I project. You are not my projection. I am not my own projection. That I am the same consciousness you are, the same awareness you are, the same substance, the same reality that you are. So then how can I come and hurt you? I cannot come and hurt you. So we hurt each other.
So I'm going to interrupt you because I wanted to give a little story from my day. There was some fly instinct in one instinct
Insect,
like the
fly.
Yeah,
yes,
something similar. And I feeling that this is life, but it was but I was what is your role here? And I wanted to my house to clean, and this is in my perception it was not so clean. So I was thinking, so should I just die this instinct? And I was so vulnerable for this one. So I tried to take to my how to say, this,
put it in a jar.
Card.
Yes, a container.
Paper and put in outside. But yeah. So
there is a saying.
Because when you want to be in reality, in this understanding, there is you see the awareness fulfill this body but instinct also.
Well, there is a saying, I think, in the Upanishads, maybe, I'm not sure if I'm going to misquote it, but it goes something like this: that which is cannot not be, that and that which is not has never been. In other words, you cannot kill life. You cannot kill life. That which is cannot not be, and that which is not has never been. So
but
you understand?
I understand what you say, that the God is, and you can't give God because God is life. I understand, but still I can kill the in potential way. I have killed some form of life. Yes, but or no.
Yeah, I'm sorry. One moment.
Yeah.
Yes, Holger, thank you. It is known that the unreal never comes to be and the real never ceases to be. The certainty of both of these principles, okay, yes, is seen by those who see the truth. Okay. Thank you, Holger. Yes, I'm sorry, Jarek, I missed the last. Can you repeat?
Yeah, because I want to give second perspective on this. because what Holger read for us. Thank you, Holger, as well. Yeah, this is true. I know, but in other perspectives, you or me or Holger or your wife can like if I'm not wish this, but in potential, she or your Tara. I think your wife is Tara. So Tara can like maybe you have some like animals or something, or potential like do something wrong to the creature, the you know, and
hurt the animal.
yeah, and
Yes.
kill even in potential. Yeah. So. But I think Tara, as a human body, will be like suffer and cry and
Yes.
so you said this, Tara, don't worry.
I would not hurt.
Let me say this. So Tara, don't worry because nothing can happen because you know, in God life is life and
You are mixing levels again, Yorek. You are mixing levels again. I'm not saying, oh, it doesn't matter. You take your dog, kill your dog. It doesn't matter because reality does not die. No, I'm speaking from a different level, At the level of life, you do your best. You do your best to take care of your body, of your friends, of your family, of your pets. You do your best to live out of understanding, out of kindness, out of love, out of respect, out of fairness. Of course, that's the level. At that level, that's the best way to live. I mean, that's how I live. But when I'm speaking that, I'm speaking at a different level, and the fact that I'm speaking at the level of the absolute, in other words, that which is cannot not be. This does not mean. The conclusion is not that, oh, okay, well, therefore it doesn't matter. You can kill people because nobody's dying. Reality doesn't die. No, I'm not saying that. I am not saying that. If you're talking at the relative level, the reason why we act in ways that are awful is because of ignorance. And the reason why we act we act in a very loving way is because out of our inner wisdom and our inner insight about our reality. You understand what I'm saying?
Of course.
Yes.
Thank you for
that's how. And of course, you know, we are where we are. Sometimes we are deeply into ignorance. And we experience jealousy, anger, and we feel isolated. We feel the world doesn't love us. And we may act in very awful ways. And then later we regret, maybe we realize, oh my God, you know, I was in a state of awful isolation, psychological isolation. What can you do? It's too late now. I mean, you already have done these awful things. So if you can, you say you're sorry, and now you live freshly. You live if you get some new understanding, then of course you live from the new understanding about a higher, you know, about more of our connection, and it's about our one reality, that the reality of the dog, the reality of the trees, the reality of the ocean, is that one reality is your reality. So you respect everything. You do your best, you know, to do that. But when you are acting from ways that are deep ignorance, you are not choosing to be this awful person. No, somehow you feel that this is, you know, the world hates you. You know, this person hates you. They're taking your wife or your children away. You're gonna kill them. You're gonna kill them.
Yeah. So please tell me why God, why you letting this happen? why you give like free will and the people could choose, so there is the consequence?
Well, I can speak from my experience that the sense of isolation and the sense of unhappiness, which seemed so real. I'm speaking from my experience, which seemed so real and awful. At some point, there was an awakening out of that. There was a how do you say, a stepping out of that, and the stepping out of that opened the door to tremendous potential for inner peace, and also living in the world in a completely different way. Why? I don't know. I don't know why, but it's a very beautiful thing. The realization, the understanding, and the shift from isolation to freedom, because it's not just personal, it's also transpersonal. It's also in life, in relationship, how you live, how you speak, how you listen, how you interact, how you think. I don't know why. I see the beauty in it. I see I don't see like that we're stuck in unhappiness, stuck in ignorance. I think, in my experience, it was part of my life, not my entire life. Now, some people say, well, maybe you go through many lifetimes where you're stuck in unhappiness. I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. I just see the potential that life is a potential for understanding. Why is God playing this game? I don't know. But I find it to be really mind-blowing, and it's so rich. It's beyond words, really. The potential of understanding. And so that's why I love this, these conversations, because they're about understanding and about freedom and joy and liberation. So maybe it's about liberation. It's just from my experience. I'm just saying from my experience, it's about the meaning in my life comes from the liberation, not from having a great relationships, or having money, a great job, and great friends, and great house. No, that's not my experience at all. It comes from liberation, and yes, and then it's living. Then it lives itself. I'm living this understanding has also its value somehow. I don't know how, but it has I feel it's part of the unfolding. Is the understanding, the liberation, and the living, which is a dynamic process. You don't know what's around the corner, and it's always dynamic. You don't, but it's alive. It's so alive, and you are you're completely open for it, for all of it. because you are this openness. You are this openness. So life lives itself through you and through everybody, because it's open. So you're connected to everybody in some way. I cannot explain exactly how, but in some way it's all interconnected. So somehow coming to the openness, somehow it's like maybe you become like a contribution to that whole field, you know. Just it's it has an effect in that it brings into the confused mind, it brings some light, some invitation, maybe an invitation to recognize yourself, because you are the light, you know, to recognize yourself, your true self. You are the light. The same light. It's not nobody special. Nothing isn't the special, like, oh, here it's more, here it's less. No, it's all of it. Entire. So I don't know about the why question. You can find in your own, maybe in your own life, your answer to the why. In my life, why it's because it's the greatest gift for the entire universe, not just for myself, because I'm not its separate self. It's the greatest I don't know, revelation. I don't know, the greatest blooming, the greatest. And suffering is part of it. I mean, suffering is part of it, because I've suffered. I mean, I know you have suffered, and I think we all have suffered. We all know suffering. And now my understanding is suffering is deeply connected with this me. You know, I'm in a bubble. I am this entity. I recollect. I remember that very viscerally. I remember that the cocoon being the isolation. It wasn't like, it was very real. It seemed very, very real. So suffering seemed very, I say seemed because now I realize it was all, I can only realize it now. I didn't realize it then, but now I realize, oh, it was just a bubble, you know. It's like a bubble, you know, and I experienced myself as a bubble, but I was not really a bubble. I've never been, in fact, a bubble. But I didn't. I realize it now. But at the moment, at that time, no, it's very miserable. Very miserable. And you're in a loop. You know, You're in a loop around the misery and misery of the parents, the government, whatever. I mean, there's a loop, you know, and you when you're in a loop, at least my experience is, I didn't even know I was in a loop. I didn't know I was in a cocoon or in a bubble. No, I didn't know. It was my reality. It was the totality of my experience was that. I had no idea, awareness or presence or no, I don't know what you're talking about. What are you talking about? Yeah, this was, it had make no sense, would make no sense. Until somehow there is a crack in the shell. Then you don't know what makes a crack, or then there is this some different type of light that comes in, and it's about, well, later, from the other time you don't know, but later it's about reality. You realize, oh wow, somehow this bubbles, this had a little crack. And in time, because you can't ignore it. I mean, at least I couldn't ignore it. This crack was, whoa, what? That there is this is like you get a glimpse of this all of it is a dream, but you say, no, it's not a dream. It feels so real, but yet you got a real insight, it's a dream. But you're not ready to just somehow let it go, or it's not ready to let go of you. So it continues, but at the same time, there is doubt, a question about what's going on. Wait. You want to look in the other direction, but you're also called back in this direction. So you're like looking out but looking back in, and but somehow in time, you become more and more, you look more out, but then you spend more looking, while you were like completely wrapped into the cocoon, you start to sort of slowly turn your gaze, turn your attention towards the light, and that's a very, and of course there is life also. Life is going on at the same time as you're looking, towards God. Life is still going on. There's still family and children and work and money and people who want to rob you and people. There's still all of that, but it's part of it. It's as if like your contemplation of truth, your contemplation of consciousness, and the living life are not two. We're living life in a certain way. It starts to change. You start to live life, but you making it part of your interest in truth. So your life also becomes part of your, maybe even a very big part of your journey. At least I think in my experience, was a big part of my journey, the life, living and children and paying the rent and all of, life. To be grounded is somehow, I don't believe in like, oh, well, then life, you ignore life, or no, that's not my experience. My experience is that living life completely grounded was part of the entire journey.
Magdi, I'm deeply grateful for your answer, for happening, what is happening, and I'm grateful for you, and thank you for your big heart and the teachings. I'd like to maybe finish, because maybe there are some people who want to give you a question, because you give me a lot of time. So thank you.
Okay, all right. Thank you. Nice to see you and nice to talk with you. Thank you for the questions. Yes. Okay, friends. It's lovely to be with you. How is your grandchild, Nathan? Yes?
What did you say, Magdi? I didn't hear
Oh,
you.
how is your grandchild?
Oh, she's lovely.
Yes.
She's lovely. She's
Yes.
gorgeous. Yes. I
Yes.
sent you a picture.
Does she? Do you get to see her? You get to see
Yes.
her? Yeah.
I saw her 2 days ago. Yes,
Oh,
for the first
wonderful.
time.
Okay.
Yes, she's wonderful.
Oh, beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's great. Newborns are so wonderful.
newborns. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Wonderful. Well, okay. Love you all. Thank you. Thank you, Nathan,
Thank you.
Yarek,
Thank you.
Holger. Hey, Frank, and Robert.
Hey,
Okay. Thank you all. Thank you.
thanks,
Bye.
Magdi. Thanks, you guys.
Bye.
Okay. Okay, guys. Okay.